are streaming right now. We're streaming Nate Allbaugh, head football coach, Judah Christian. I almost said Johnsburg. That was many years ago. Judah Christian, Champaign, Illinois, alongside
Rebecca Allbaugh.
That's right. That's my wife. Defensive line coach for the Judah Christian Tribe for 2 weeks of her life.
2 weeks.
And she's here with us today. We're frozen, of course, already. So I will go switch cameras now. We have to switch cameras. Those of you, if anybody's been watching live at all, you know that I have had some serious camera problems I can't seem to solve. So I will switch to this camera. And now, babe, the other camera was the best camera. It looked the best. And now we got this garbage camera. And that's what we have to be live on now. Okay? So we'll live with it. So anyway, this is going to be a short show. We are doing the 4th play of Christmas, the 12 plays of Christmas countdown to the launch of our online clinic. I've got Rebecca because Al Craig is busy. Coach Turner is busy tonight. That leaves one coach left that I know. Coach Rebecca Allbaugh, D-line coach.
Or Mrs. Coach, as the boys call me.
So our 4th play of Christmas is screen, of course. It's the screen game. And you know as well as anybody, Rebecca, why the screen game is so important as a D-line coach. Why is that?
I don't know.
Okay, so you can see she was not my D-line coach based on knowledge, but she was able to watch the video I sent her. And oh yeah, our camera's here, by the way. We can't look there anymore.
I don't know where we're looking.
She was able to watch the videos I sent her and help teach those boys those stances. Do you still remember the D-line stance?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What was the coaching point number 1?
Like where on the body?
Or like what do you remember from the stance that you taught for 2 weeks?
I remember that depending on whether it was at 1 or 2 or 3, where the toe should go, how the back should be positioned.
She's talking 1 tech, 2 tech, or 3 techniques, folks.
Yes. Which hand goes down depending on the side of the ball. You know, all things that I didn't know anything about. And I've been your wife for 15 years, and you've been coaching the whole time. So
she learned, though, man. She learned.
Yeah.
So appreciate that. Like I said, Coach Craig and Coach Turner both busy tonight. So I said, babe, let's go shoot a show together. And of course she said, are you serious?
Yeah.
And I said, yes, let's go. She said, I don't have anything to say. That's okay. You're really just someone for me to talk to. And so we got 4 guys watching. Check in. Tell us where you're from and whether or not your wife would ever dream of coaching with you. Now, the worst part of coaching with my wife was this.
Oh, I already know.
The day my son, I chewed him out in practice. The day. Are you saying it was more than one day?
Possibly.
Okay. The day I chewed him out the hardest in practice. Okay. And poor mama had to sit there quiet, and then when we got home, she unleashed.
I wasn't quiet anymore.
Okay. Have any of you guys coached your sons? All right. We're talking screen today. Today's going to be shorter for only one reason, and that is this. Oh, let me grab that microphone. David Freeze.
David let us down.
David dropped the mic for the first time.
Mic drop.
All right. The only reason screen is the shortest for me, first of all, it has to be on here, is because I have the least amount of experience with screen. Screen has not been, I like how you say, you knew that.
Isn't that what,
yeah.
hosts do?
I think they usually say, if they actually agree.
I mean, I'm starting to remember the importance of screen.
So screen is not, we're a wing T team, so we don't throw it a ton, so screen's not a huge piece of the puzzle. But screen is huge. Obviously, I've coached a lot of defense in my day as well, so screen is, we have to worry about it all the time. All the time we're worrying about screen. So to clue you in, babe, here's why screen is so important to a defensive line coach. So it's the purpose of a screen is the offense is going to let the defensive line go. They're going to let you come get their quarterback.
I remember.
And then all the blockers are then going to go on to your next level of defenders and block them while they throw it over your D-lineman's heads.
Right.
You did not know that.
I remembered.
You did not.
It's kind of a distraction technique.
Like I said, here with an expert, so I'm glad I brought her.
I claim the opposite.
Okay, so again, I got a couple coaches watching. Check in, tell us where you're from. We're live here for about a total of 10 minutes, probably a little bit less. Play of the day is screen. 12 plays of Christmas countdown to the launch of the 2019 clinic with my D-line coach for the year, my lovely wife. Okay, this screen right here, this is my last year at Central. Okay, look at this. You can run screen out of anything. Here we are running it out of our wing tee, the old throwback screen, and here's how bad we are at it. Look at this. I've got all 5 of my linemen sitting here clueless. Okay, so it's not something I've been real good at. Now, I will say this. Because of our time off, in between last year and this year, in our online clinic, we had several screen guys. So I studied and studied and studied and studied and studied. And so I got better. This year was my biggest leap in understanding, not understanding of the screen, I always understood it, but at least the ability to coach it. Okay, now I don't know if it was necessarily my ability to coach it. It was that I had committed more time to coaching the screen game. Okay, so that's going to be huge for anything. If you want to be good at something, of course, you have to commit the time to coaching it. Let me tell you why I got away from, one of the main reasons I got away from screen in the first place and probably hampered me for about good 5 years of my coaching career. Year number 1, my first head coaching job ever, and we have our first game ever. And we allow 0 touchdowns defensively, but we threw 1 screen that got picked off, pick 6. We lose that game 7-6. Do you remember that game? The first game ever. We were hosting a get-together afterwards with a bunch of family, and I came home and went to my room and pouted and wouldn't come out.
I remember that part.
Yes, okay, so you remember that game. That was why. Because of the screen that got picked off and taken back for a touchdown. Oh, I keep looking at that camera. It's this camera. It's hard not to do. But that screen got picked off, and it stopped me for 5 years practically saying, I cannot risk throwing screen. That's what it became for me. It's like, I can't risk it. Okay, so, and Rebecca remembers me pouting in my room. My dad chewed me out after that. Not that night. My dad chewed me out maybe the next day.
He picks his.
And he said, you better, he basically said, when you have company over, you better suck it up. I needed to hear it. Okay, here we are in purple now. Here's screen was very, very good to us this year. Of course, you have good old running back screen. Now we're getting guys to the second level. There's my boy, number 37. Your boy, too. 37 getting in the way of their main linebacker. But you can just see now at least my linemen are getting out front, right? You compare that to this last clip where my linemen are just clueless.
Yeah.
And the only difference is, again, the following year, all these guys are first-year players. But what's the difference? Well, we spent more practice time on it. Okay. Hey, what's up, Steven? Steven Clay Baker, assistant youth football coach in Chicago, Illinois. And, of course, loves screens of the fast guy. Steven, has your wife ever coached with you? That's a good question for everybody. Has anybody's wife ever coached with them? Actually, I quite enjoyed having you as a coach. You did it very nice. You know why? Because you didn't. You accepted. Yeah. You very comfortably accepted that you didn't have knowledge already, and so you were just like a sponge. Whatever I said was like gold to you.
I was a coachable coach.
You were a coachable coach. Well done.
Yeah.
Now, screen number 2. Obviously, this is when, okay, so I had bought in saying, hey, screens, bubble screen, now screens. In our clinic last year, online clinic, which is still up for 10 days, you can still get the, what's his name, Collinsville head coach, Mike Popovich, did a whole series on screens. And this little screen game here, we were throwing now screen, bubble screen, to this little receiver right here. This is all these guys' first game ever, where he just backpedals from the quarterback and catches. Then we installed a little complement to it where he backpedals, and as the quarterback gets ready to throw, he plants his foot and comes back at the quarterback, okay? And here we are, a whole bunch of clueless kids. This is all these kids' first ever football game this year. Backpedal, comes back to them. We're trying to get guys out front, but as you can see, it just created space. It created space. So slowly but surely, I've become more and more a believer in the screen game. So as I said, we got 7 live viewing now. This is my wife, Rebecca. She was our D-line coach for 2 weeks. She's here because Coach Turner and Coach Craig are unavailable. No, and I wanted somebody to talk to.
Because I'm the bomb.
That too. But we're talking screen game. This episode is short because I have the least amount of experience with screen.
No, I do.
Okay. Besides her, I have the least amount of experience with screen. But this year in my coaching career, even though it's 8-man football, we ran screen and committed to screen, mostly because of all of the coaches that have completely sold me on how effective it is. I'm a big under center guy. I love being under center, but I do love, the only thing I love about being in the gun is the screen game. It's unbelievable. Coach Sloan, thanks for checking in. Tim Sloan, Knott County Middle School in Hindman, Kentucky. Hindman? My wife has never helped me coach. Not sure, given our teamwork with window shades, it ever a good idea. I don't get it. Do you get it? Given our teamwork with window shades, window.
Maybe it was speak texting.
I want to know now. That last line is so curious that I just got to know what he meant by it. Okay, we're talking screens. Here it is. This is the end. First of all, now this is the playoff game, our last game of the year, and we're in hurry-up mode. So we go hurry-up mode. This is us in white. We go running back screen. Look at how many guys get up front now. Look at the difference. And you can see it, babe, right?
I can see it, yeah.
From the year before where we hadn't worked on it. Now look at my guys get out front. Look at this.
There they are.
Boom, this is in a 2-minute drill. I thought the play was going to go big. Now we come back the very next play. We're hurrying up. Again, we're hurry up. And now we just call a screen to our wide receiver. The blocking is identical for us. That's what I liked about it. Blocking identical from the last screen to this screen. And this one goes for a touchdown. So in a 2-minute situation, we had been under center a lot. We go to the gun. We start with, we get one good play. We come back with screen to the running back. Block it identically the following play. Literally block it identically, but run the running back away and come back to the screen to the wide receiver next. I'm pretty sold. I'm pretty sold. Even as a under center guy who's pretty committed to being under center, I love it. This is why I think my teams will always continue to have a package where we're going to be in the gun, because it's too deadly. It's too lethal. How about you guys? If you guys are blocking, do you block wide receiver screen and running back screen the same? Can you get away with that in your program, blocking them the same? All right, here's my closing thought, babe. Any more thought? Hey, any thoughts from you? I don't want to shut you down. About screen game?
I mean, you said you weren't familiar with the screen. You've also not been familiar with which screen.
Oh, yeah, I keep looking at this camera.
This whole thing. And I thought that was a funny play on words. So that's what I'm going to conclude with. Okay. I've been staring at you all this whole time.
Okay. I keep forgetting. All right, that camera is supposed to be our camera, and I can't get it to work without freezing. So we're back to this camera. All right, last thing I'm going to show you, Coach, is here's a little wrinkle defensively. Here's us in black, my last year at Central, against our rivals. Now, this is our rival, the Crosstown School, and they had killed us the previous 2 seasons with their one screenplay. And I mean killed us, and we had to have an answer to their screenplay. So here's the answer that we came up with. In almost all screen situations, because they had some tendencies, we called a special blitz. And what we did was, this is a stacked linebacker. This guy right here, number 7, is the other stacked linebacker. So our special blitz was, we wanted him to come down to the line of scrimmage and show blitz. What we thought that would do is it would force their tackle to leave him alone. Their tackle would see him as a rusher, that he would leave him alone and move on. But what we told number 7 was, we want you to look like a blitzer, take an attack step, and then freeze and only attack the screen. So it was like a trap. It was 100%. We set the trap, and here we are. This was the 3rd play of the game. And our first play, we stuff them, and so we know right away we're thinking, this is a screen situation for them. So we call our trap blitz, and that's Jalen Booker right there. But now they false start. That should have been called. That probably doesn't hurt. It doesn't get called. They false start. But here's the trap. Notice that they fall for the trap. The tackle moves on. See, if I have this linebacker back 2 feet here, then that's exactly who this man's going to go try to block. But because we move him up to the line and tell him to take a step across, this guy, their tackle, skips our guy. So now he's unblocked. Here he is. Just get all over the screen.
Perfect.
Pick six. Exactly the way. And talk about it. I mean, this changed the morale. Was such a great morale boost for us right out of the gates. It just changed the game. I don't know if this audio will come in, man, but if I turn on the audio here, this audio is not going to work. But I'll tell you what, you could hear the crowd. It erupted. But again, just a little idea when it comes to screens. If you catch a team that's got heavy tendencies on screens, sorry, I got to keep looking at this camera, use this little trap blitz. If you expect it, strong screen tendencies, it's tough to stop because that tackle has to treat that guy as a rusher. And it allows us to, we're just truly sad on it. Okay, so that's one of the reasons too, though, why sometimes I get scared to call screen. All right. Well, Rebecca, thank you for joining me. You sure are the most lovely host I've ever had, co-host I've ever had. And I will be sorry to bring back guys that know more about football because they're just, not as pretty as you are. I'm looking at the wrong camera again.
Yeah.
Wrong camera. All right. Guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for chiming in. Leave comments below. Who knows? Rebecca may make a guest appearance again in the future.
Maybe.
I can see this is our highest live viewership.
It's entertaining.
A pretty girl can usually do that. Guys, thanks for joining. Comment below. Look us up on Twitter. Reach out at any time, and we will keep talking ball.